This is Company of Heroes history. Hello and welcome to Company of Heroes history. This is episode 12, I believe. And now we're going to be closing out the coverage of patch 1.4 with what I think is the very best game from that patch. We're doing something a little different today. We're looking at a 2 versus 2 game on rails and metal. Now in the south we have the allied team with Golradaer, who is a wonderful player, I'm sure many of you remember, and we'll come back to speak about his quality a bit later. He's teamed up with KittyMix. Now KittyMix isn't a person I know particularly for his 1 versus 1 play, but certainly in 2 versus 2s, and particularly with Golradaer, they were renowned by many people as the best 2 versus 2 team in some of these early versions of the game. But that's not to say they aren't up against some pretty strong opposition. In the north, we have NewName, who we've already seen featured on this game. He's playing against the Gmerc, and he's NewName, also known as Freezing. And his partner up here is Gmerc, another player I'm not familiar with, but an excellent 2 versus 2 player, and certainly strong. Now, I'm going to treat this as a bit more of a play-by-play game, because I'm sure 2v2 a lot more is going to be happening. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to keep up with, I think. But here we go. So it looks like the Axis have both rushed the middle and have focused and emphasized trying to get wire up around this central fuel point. You can see why it's a high fuel point in this middle of the game. I don't believe it's a high fuel today. I think it's a +5 even. In fact, this map looks very, very different now I look at it. After this little fight here, I'll take a little glance and see why. It's going pretty interesting. None of these houses look particularly good, and I think certainly later in the game, when units with more members in them are out there, they won't be very effective. As it is, I think they can do a little bit of damage because you can get most of your damage out, but even though you're only firing from 1 or 2 windows if you're a Pioneer squad. Oh, will he get that wire up? Looks like he does get the wire up in time. No focus firing of the wire there that's partially built, therefore the riflemen aren't going to be able to get in here and fight and try and chase off these Pioneers. Pioneers do get the capture. They'll likely go down in the process, but they do get the capture down. Now I'll quickly just check out the... this engineer squad is in there. I'll quickly check out the tactical map. He's trying to get an OP on there. That isn't going to go well, but as we know, we've seen in previous episodes, this will have a lot of health now and will be impossible to cap back by this engineer. Keeping that in there was very good. Should have been able to get the recap on that, but as it is, he's not able to. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the tactical map. So it looks like on this version we have a big +10 munitions on the side rather than having the fuel kind of here and there's another fuel over here. That are kind of, and these +10s also function as kind of cut-off points. As it is here, it's a little bit different. Massive amount of fuel in the middle, so yeah, understandable that the two teams are fighting over that a lot more. Now we see 2 fights going on here simultaneously. A Jeep and Rifleman trying to face this off. In the south, meanwhile, we have this engineer has tried to bag through this building, presumably to get a MG in there pretty soon. We have seen a WSC and barracks split start from the allies, so that's understandable. Jeep now coming over here to try and help out against this squad of Volksgrenadiers moving around. Actually hilarious how much HP that observation post still has from NewName. It's absurd. Already veterancy on this Rifleman squad. That's very quick. Must have had a few good engagements over on this side. We definitely saw it chase away one Volksgrenadier squad, excuse me, which is now reinforcing. And that Jeep now does a good job as well, but it does get damaged engine. I thought it was about to say it's just got out of there at the right time, but we may be seeing it chased down, given they've got that unfortunately critical at quite a decent amount of health there. Well, this Rifleman should be enough to chase away these Volks, or at least delay them enough for the Jeep to get away and get some repairs. Map control right now a little bit awkward. We see this Pioneer squad pushing down, trying to take out this medium fuel point. Reduce that very much, but that Volksgrenadier squad is going to have to get out of there. And that one too. Now the MG has come along to help out. Pioneers and engines in these 2 houses. I remember this engagement happening a lot in my games on this map. A little bit tricky. We do see a sniper out from Gmerc. He's going to finish off that engineer squad in the house there. That's a very nice move. Second Pioneer squad coming out to help and kind of reinforcing this engagement. If it sits in this green cover, it might be able to help out a good deal. Though of course it will take a little bit of damage at that short range. We'll see. Not quite in the cover there by the looks of things, unless it doesn't show up on the UI in these early builds. I'm not sure there. Oh, Jeep trying to come in and flank this MG. Now it will get down this time, but not. Yep. Tried to run over there and get the sniper that was kind of playing with its, playing with its life there. The allied sniper has now revealed its position. It could have been a better option to kind of delay moving in with that. Oh, that squad, yeah, not good. Maybe my advice was not too good there. Yeah, it could have delayed moving in that sniper and then brought the Jeep and sniper at the same time and taken out the Axis sniper quite easily, I think. As it is, he's going for a more traditional counter-snipe attempt here. Probably lurking in cover somewhere around here. Who knows? Luring in the Axis sniper with that mortar. There we go. Will it take the shot? No, it decides to kind of take it slow at this point. We have seen that he's not taking. There's a shot. Will he get the counter snipe in time? It's always pretty tricky to get that counter snipe out. You have to be very quick on the mouse. Let's see if it works. Oh, forward HQ now in this position here. Now that will really be difficult now to force away. It's going to take more than a couple of flamer squads and maybe a mortar to get that out of there. In the meantime, over here we see 2 more Volks grenadiers. There's a lot of Volks on the field right now. 3 from NewName. I wonder how many Gmerc's got. Let's have a quick look. Gmerc has got a couple of his own, along with that sniper and an MG. Ooh, they get pretty low health there. Oh, I'm not sure about this engagement at all. These riflemen in green cover are going to be in a pretty good spot there. We see an enormous amount of fuel for the Axis team here. Enormous amount of fuel. Despite that, Tier 2, he's going to have plenty of fuel left over for veterancy, which will definitely work to his advantage. Oh, goes for a Panzerfaust. What? Takes out 3 models. I was about to say that, I'm sorry, that's been patched before this point, but apparently it was still effective. That was fantastic. Fantastic use of munitions there. Taking out 3 models for 35 munitions is a pretty nice trade, I would say. Continue to fight here. This sniper really sort of taking its time, being very patient here. In the meantime, we see a attempted flank here from some Volks. One set of Volks will get off a decap over here, but the other one's trying to decap the VP. Will do so, but will soon be pinned and will have to retreat, I would think. Sniper there does take a shot. Is enough to chase away that rifleman squad. It looked like they wanted to close the distance. Oh, but another rifleman squad comes up with veterancy 1 already. That extra damage, will it be enough to take out the sniper and retreat? Dodges a few bullets now. Will it be able to get past? I believe that rifleman squad there. Okay, for a second I thought it was that mortar squad and his crew member was like just whipped out his pistol and was able to get the kill. Not to be. Riflemen do take that. That'll help him out a lot as well, getting some more veterancy there. It's a nice move. Tier 2 from Gmerc. He hasn't yet started building anything. And we haven't got... Oh, we do have a Tier 3 build here from NewName. Look at the amount of fuel. 170 sat in the bank. And we are... you might not be able to see this, but we are currently 8 minutes into the game. He has 170 fuel in the bank. That's pretty outrageous, to be honest. I can see why this map was changed slightly to lower the fuel income. Although I do remember seeing and enjoying the massive amount of... Oh, sniper down here now, having a little shot at that MG in the house there. Mortar 2. Oh, he's going to have to get out there quickly. Another shot goes down. It looks like it will just about get away. These Volks is really being aggressive now, pushing forward to this munitions point that's right outside the Allied base. He's going to get chased away now by KittyMix. And these 3 rifleman squads all coming onto the field. Looked like they attack moved there. They didn't quite... Oh, another Panzerfaust out, getting another couple of models. Really, really impressive, actually. This is not something I thought would have been that effective at this point, but I might give that a go in my next game, even on the current build, and see how it goes, because that's certainly a surprise. A nice move here by this Volks from the squad, able to get the cut off here. Not able to be shot up by this HMG because this hedgerow is just blocking the view, as you can see. Right, turn that back to normal. Retreating squads here in a little bit of trouble. Looks like he has decided to push in with these MP40s. They do a lot of damage, but they're standing in no cover here. Not actually doing really as much damage as I expected at all. These snipers now as well, absolutely demolishing in the middle. They're going to have to come up with an answer to that at some point. This Golradaer is dominating in the middle there. Will they get this retreating Volks squad? No. Looks like they will get away okay. Let's switch over to the Allied side now and see what's going on. Awkward engagement here. Looks like they did go for a munitions observation post, on that medium fuel point. That's a nice move. And you're going to be able to chase away this Volks grenadier that we're trying to harass that with this engine squad. Look at all that flame. Wowee. burning down. That is glorious. I mean, look at those graphics. That is that's a pretty nice animation given that this game came out in 2006. I think it's really good. Oh, so we see the MG gun is to get out of the house here. Now, the reason he's probably done that, yeah, looks like, oh, it's an unfortunate reload time. Looks like he may have done it to use the armor-piercing rounds, which in this build of the game you couldn't use from within the house. Got out there, isn't able to get the kill off on that Puma, but certainly taking out half of its health like that is a nice move. Some veterans accruing on these snipers. They've clearly been doing a lot of damage. But they are in a situation where the allies don't have a great deal of map control. Haven't got a lot of the points they do have under their control actually connected to their home base. So they're going to be struggling a little bit there. Let's see what the teching is going on. We see a motor pull from Golradaer. God, he's an absolute genius with the motor pull, so I'm hoping to see some good work coming out from that. Also see that we do have a supply yard from KittyMix, but we haven't actually got any additional tech there yet. Also, we don't see that he's actually chosen a... Oh, at this point, I can't see whether or not he's chosen a doctrine. That seems late. Seems very late. 11 minutes into the game to have not chosen anything. For Golradaer, let's see what KittyMix has chosen. KittyMix, here we go. We do have airborne from KittyMix. Let's move there. Wow, interesting sound on that MG. That I'm not sure what MG it is. It's MG42 or something on the front of that half track. Seems like a slightly different sound than I'm used to. These two Pumas pushing in here. Looked like he did try and use the armor-piercing rounds to take out that Puma. Wasn't able to quite get the kill off. Rifleman pushing back here. Another very aggressive Volkswagen squad. They are sure to go down in their retreat. Don't even start the retreat before they die. Looks like, I mean, I would say the Axis are at a pretty heavy advantage in terms of map control. And clearly you saw the amount of fuel they've had. They're really benefiting from that enormous pool of resources they've had access to. But the Allies have got a nice lead with the victory points and have a bit of a manpower lead, I would say. In some ways, I think they have a manpower lead, given the fact that these snipers have taken out a number of squads. KittyMix also has 5 rifles and an airborne squad on the field. A little bit of veterans, no less. Does this Puma get the... does manage to very briefly remove the camouflage on that sniper. Oh, that sniper's really playing with fire with that little health, that range. Could easily see it just getting popped right back in the head. Oh, and it misses his shot too. Will he recloak in time? Does recloak in time. That's a surprise to me. Oh, and now we see the half-track pushing in here, trying to take out the sniper. The veteran C1 sniper does go down. Okay, now we're talking a big move here, because snipers are pretty tricky to counter. If you've gone tier 2, you have to basically get a sniper of your own as a tier 2 player. Although, of course, we do have tier 3 from NewName. And so having us on the field for the allies is just so powerful. It can really force your opponent to make some changes and maybe do some different teching. If they're going to be able to adequately take out your snipers, or they're going to have to swallow the manpower losses throughout the rest of the game. Oh, that sniper there almost went down too, but did just about survive. HMG comes out of the house to try and help out, putting a little bit more damage down on that Puma. Isn't able to do enough though to get damage engine or anything like that. It does move and change to face this other Puma. I'm not sure whether the armor piercing round ability will still be active. Nope, must be on cooldown, or maybe Golradaer doesn't have. Oh, this is KittyMix. Maybe didn't have the munitions in the bank to reactivate the ability. As it is, oh, we see an upgun now on this Puma. It should be able to take out that M10. We'll have to see as it chases it down and see how accurate that ability is. Does hit it, gets the out of control. The M10 will skid around in a corner, crash into some grenadiers, and that will be its last action of the game. Beautiful timing on that upgun for the Puma. Does save both of the Pumas, and they'll be ready to fight another day. KittyMix has got this airborne. Whoa! Huge shot from the AT gun there, managing to take out the half track. A couple of Panzer squads pushing in here, trying to force that away. Maybe they were hoping they could get the snipe off on that gun and really reduce the anti-tank abilities of the allies. As it is, they weren't able to get it, but these engineers do immediately retreat. Let's see if they get away, or no, they get sniped by this Puma on their retreat. Oh, another M8, excuse me, not using any skirts, using the skirts upgrade, or really playing with fire there with very low health. And a Calliope now pushing forward. Calliope with its main gun enabled, although with that longer cooldown. Then there's regular Sherman pushing itself into harm's way here, really desperate to try and take out a Puma or two, but went up against this number of Panzer Shreks. Oh, they're in a really difficult situation, I think. This airborne squad, as mentioned before. Oh, a couple of them go down there. Yeah, they haven't decided to get the recoilless rifle upgrade, so they aren't helping out at all against the armor of the Axis, but they have somehow managed to get themselves some veterancy. I wonder if there was a juicy satchel charge or something somewhere that we missed at some point. He has now moved in, and this partial observation post from NewName is still intact. 15 minutes into the game, having been placed as one of the first actions of the entire match. The Allies are finally going to have the opportunity to remove that observation post and get that a high fuel point under their control. Not that their fuel income is low as it is. I mean, they already have 33 fuel per minute coming in, but you know, if 33 fuel a minute is not enough, why not get it up to plus 60 on top of that? That's it. Strong point 49. Absolutely absurd. Another airdropped AT gun is going to help out against this Puma. It's actually not doing the damage I would have thought it might against the squad capping at this distance, and just as I say it, bunch of models go down. He's desperate. He's sticking around trying to get the decap, but I think the squad might go down. M8 comes in, just trying to help, and now the bars pop, and they do get the decap, but the squad goes down 1 millisecond later. Was it worth it? I would say no. You already know that your opponents are going to have an absolute abundance of fuel. I'm not sure how much that's really helped. KittyMix though has gone straight for the straight down the left hand side of the tree, and now as the supply drops coming in, so that'll really bolster their fuel and munitions income. It'll be very helpful if he keeps on top of that throughout the game. It could be an enormous amount of additional income over time. A really powerful ability in these other games when it didn't cost any manpower, and it just, you could drop it in every 3 minutes. So in a game that lasts, I don't know, another 30 minutes from that, you could drop it 10 times. Get yourself a juicy number of more fuel. Is that 4? Is that 1,000 munitions and 400 fuel extra for no cost, other than your attention? That seems an absurd amount, doesn't it? I'll have to check those numbers and put in a little bulletin for you, but I think that's about right. Strange engagement here between HMG against MG42, fighting away at each other. The HMG has not yet been suppressed, although the MG42 is suppressed. The opposite of what you might expect. AT gun helping out, firing off. Gets a nice juicy shot off on the gun there. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. Maybe the MG42's accuracy has been reduced somewhat because it's firing into this light here. Yeah, it could very well be that that light is affecting it somewhat. Oh, the AT gun gets the shot off there, and that causes a lot of havoc. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, big push with these Grenadiers are coming across, and I saw on the mini-map a vehicle is also helping out there. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but a big push back. The AT gun and Riflemen are ready to respond to it, though. Let's see if they're able to do so. I mean, this is just such a wonderful... Oh, Stug now in the middle. Stug helping out a little bit more AT. That Rifleman squad is very low. KittyMix decides, get him out of there, get him healed up and reinforced rather than leaving him in harm's way for too long. Now, KittyMix did get an observation post on the middle fuel. Now, again, far be it from me to criticize these people, but he currently has 54 fuel a minute coming in, just from the points on the map, and an additional 40 fuel every 3 minutes coming in from the supply drop ability. He's got 300 in the bank. I think you've got enough fuel. I think maybe you could have gone without the observation post, but I mean, what do I know? We may find later in the game that they actually run out of fuel, but I would be extremely surprised. At the minute, they're really just manpower blocked. Look at that. 250 income is not great given how many points they have under their control. Does have a lot of units on the field, so I guess their manpower upkeep is relatively high. Let's have another little look on the Axis side and see what they're going for. Let's have a look at Gmerc for a while. Gmerc going with this tier 2 strategy. Yeah, it looks like this push in the north was pretty successful. He's going to push down with these 2 Panzer trucks, maybe try and take out the OP. Decides against it, thinks they've got bigger fish to fry at the moment. Pushing a little bit of a flank here. I mean, he doesn't have much anti-infantry power is the issue. I mean, you know, vanilla Grenadiers are a good unit. A good unit and can probably stand up to vanilla rifles pretty handily one-on-one, but once they have the bar upgrade and a little bit of veterancy like this, they really are going to struggle. Having said that, these Panzer Shreks, when they're a little bit more liable to get some snipes off, and they've got the hard track here reinforcing, could go a little bit better. Pack gun in the middle, along with some cloaked stormtroopers here pushing down. Another stormtrooper squad already on top of this. Looks like they're able to take out the crew of that AT gun, but not take out the MG. What's right behind it? We now have a beautiful... I mean, the combined arms here is so good. I mean, I've watched and played, it has to be said, a lot of 2v2 games that kind of play out like 2 versus 1s going on the same map. And that couldn't be further from what's going on here. Beautiful support of the tier 2 army with these tier 3 Gmercs and Stugs. It's really, really very effective. We see similar work going on in the middle. A little bit more sort of a split, I would say, on the allied side. KittyMix seems to be trying to hold the middle and push left when possible, whereas Golradaer is really locking down this area. Kampfgras Center out from Gmerc. Let's see what he goes for here. I mean, he's got a lot of infantry on the field, so I would think that would be the priority. Particularly back now, when I believe in this patch, it was still the case that Pioneers benefited from infantry veterancy rather than support veterancy, as they do today. So you had the benefit. Oh! You had the benefit, if you got veterancy 1 or 2 for your infantry, you had the benefit of your flamers also being a little bit more hardy. Oh, that Panzer Strike Squad is going to have to be very careful there. Move back, I would think. It's huge shot from those recoilless rifles all the way from that distance, taking out the half track. Not going to be able to reinforce this Grenadier squad anymore. He's going to have to get it out of there, I would imagine. Back to base. Now, the AT gun and recoilless rifles here. The Stoke had the option to retreat or to try and push in and take out this Calliope. He chose to push in, but I think he's going to regret that now. As the combination of recoilless rifles and AT guns are indeed too much for it. A Stormtrooper squad did try and sneak around and take out that AT crew and saved Stug, but I think it was never going to be enough with the recoilless rifles on duty as well. This pack is still set up on the road. I think he's just waiting for the opportunity to fire on this Calliope. Looks like it might just be out of range. Oh, it looks like it must have been on hold fire. And the infantry squad did go down here to the Calliope before the pack gun even opened fire. He's now firing on this Calliope, which is in the fog of war, but isn't going to be able to take it out before the Calliope retreats. A lot of units here in the north here. We do see the veterans now. Axis veterancy, this is what it looked like back in the day. Rather than the kind of blobs we see on the top today, which are generic across civilizations, they had these little blobs underneath. You see one, and it does go to 2 or 3. I think that along with the Allies veterancy, that we'll have a little look at now, let's go and see an Allied unit. Let's see if we can find some veterancies somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, these chevrons. I think they look so nice. They've got so much more character than what they did with the veterancy around the release of Opposing Fronts, I believe it was. We made it generic across all civilizations. It just lost a little something, I believe. Huge flank move here by these Pumas. We also saw that must have been a recon flight. I'm not sure. Don't think it was mine when it came across so quickly, because it came, if you look on the mini-map, sort of northwest to southeast, or the opposite direction. It just comes so quickly because this map is really not that wide. That Puma will surely go down, does go down. They did manage to get enough units out there around this Ford HQ, which has actually been, thinking back on this game, it's been an absolute godsend. He's been able to continually reinforce these heavy MG squads, even though they're getting sniped by pack guns. Handling. Oh, and a Tiger in from NewName. That feels relatively early. We're currently 22 minutes into the game. It feels like a relatively early, very successful. Oh, this M8 moving in on the left. I don't like that move, and it does go down. I mean, honestly, to be able to get... Oh, here comes in a huge strafe, but it did absolutely nothing. That was enormously disappointing. If I was Golradaer is the... If I was KittyMix, I would be looking for a refund of my munitions for that. That was very disappointing indeed. Now this Tiger, I think we have a huge power spike here. Pershing is not quite in. It's a big power spike opportunity for the Axis. They may be able to force that off this base. We saw a huge bundle grenade there. I'm sorry, I just missed that off the bottom of the thing. I was too busy looking at the Tiger, that handsome Tiger. But yeah, this is a great opportunity to push the Allies off the map completely, cut that fuel income, cut that manpower income because they lose map control, and really assert themselves on the map. This Tiger's going to come in. Another bundle grenade goes down. This time, doesn't kill any units. Perhaps it's just... Oh, let's see another strafe. Again, we see completely full health squads, so that leads me to believe that nothing happened now. Look at this veterancy. KittyMix doing such a good job of keeping these shots going down. We see a grenade coming out from the Grenadiers in response. Yeah, he's doing a great job of continuing being aggressive, taking out the enemy Axis units one by one. Obviously losing a lot of units of his own in the process, but getting that crucial veterancy that if he's able to maintain those squads throughout the game, will really help them to be able to stand toe-to-toe with these upgraded Axis infantry. Another sticky bomb goes down. Oh, it does just not survive that Pioneer. The hero Pioneer keeping the half-track alive there. I mean, neither player, excuse me, really seeming like they're too bothered about getting in cover. That extra sticky bomb goes down. It looked like there was 2 Flamer Pioneers that had been in that half-track. I remember seeing them about 15 minutes ago. Or 10 minutes ago in one half-track. It looked like they've been in that this half-track the entire time. Not fighting in the fight. Yeah, here we go. Pioneers benefiting from the infantry veterancy and now up to veterancy 3. Along with the Grenadiers on the field. And now we see, here we go. That power spike I was talking about from the Axis is now to a degree mitigated by the presence of the Pershing on the field. Such a powerful tank in its own right. Can really go toe-to-toe with the Tiger, particularly if it uses that front armor to a good effect. So they've been able to kind of mitigate the... It could have been really quite bad, although they do lose a couple of squads. Maybe a couple of squads went down, but it could have been much worse. They've got an opportunity now to push back out on the map, although you don't want to overextend too much. I wonder if he has a Calliope barrage here. It can help out with this engagement. The Pat Gun and Tiger are both within range. The Calliope does go for the barrage. Here we go. Let's see how this goes down. Looks like it's going to do some damage to the Tiger. Tiger is retreating pretty nicely. I didn't see the Pat Gun go down, so maybe that repositioned, or perhaps he was just a little bit unlucky with where those rockets did go down. Nevertheless, scared the Tiger away. It's going to take a little bit longer to reinforce and repair. And we now see tier 4 up from KittyMix. Going to be able to support the armored tanks of... Oh, tier 4 from both players. Well, now we're going to see if they can rush through that enormous fuel income they've managed to get online, even though they've lost a bit of fuel income in the middle. Interesting to see how they go with that. Did they also lose the OP over here? Yes, they did. Well, see... This is why I should shut my mouth about saying if things were good or bad ideas, because clearly these guys know best. Knew that they were going to use all this. Perhaps these enormous tank battles were the norm on this map. Having said that, this is a huge squad of infantry now pushing into the middle. A lot of them nice, all sitting in cover. Another strafe goes in. This one a little bit more effective. Did see... looked like maybe even a whole squad went down there, but certainly one squad lost a lot of models, or a couple of squads lost some models. Given that they had the Veterancy 3 and that strong armor they got at that point, that's a pretty nice move. See a assault grenades used there by this Stormtrooper squad does take out the AT gun. This engagement area is still going on. Oh, one weapon has now been left on the floor. Looks like it is an MG42? Oh, the light machine gun version. Riflemen think for a second there they could push in, but then look at all of these squads. Great use of the half tracks to reinforce this. Stuka, walking stick shot goes up in the air, being answered by a Calliope. Ah! Both teams there were liable to lose an enormous amount of units. It looked like most of the units did get away, preserving those squads, but nevertheless a huge amount of damage. Veterancy 2 now for the Calliope. It's going to be even more effective in these future engagements. That was a very interesting move. I didn't see where this walking Stuka landed. It looks like it may have been over here. I'm not sure exactly what it was firing upon, but yeah, nice move there. I was hoping they would sort of trade exactly, and that would have been quite nice to watch, but it wasn't to be. Riflemen have chosen to take back this AT gun. That's going to help out a lot against the Tiger already in the field, and I'm sure it's inevitable we're going to be seeing many more Tigers going forwards in this game. I mean, I must say, look at that veterancy preservation here from KittyMix. That is really something to behold. 3 veterancy 2 rifleman squads and a veterancy 1 rifle squad. I think today you wouldn't be too surprised to see that. Certainly players have got really good at maintaining veterancy on their units, but I think around this time it wasn't that common to see so many squads preserved to this degree. It's really going to help them out a lot. Golradaer, on the other hand, I mean, he has it a little bit more difficult. Like, weapon support center really loses a bit of its punch into the mid and late game. Oh, here comes the walking Stuka shots. Aiming down, trying to take out this AT gun. Wasn't quite aimed accurately enough, I don't think. As we know, it doesn't do quite the damage it should have been doing anyway because of the bug to reduce the damage of the Axis artillery all the way up until the release of opposing fronts. But nevertheless, you might have expected a little bit more. I could have hoped to take out that... Oh, it's a great model, isn't it? Really beautiful model. It looks really good with the little dash of yellow on there as well, I think. Anyway, we saw it's a little bit of a push down by some stormtroopers themselves getting some veterancy now. But it wasn't enough. He's able to push it away. A little recon fight to see what's going on. Oh, he has seen that this northern VP currently undefended. Interesting to see if he sends something over. Looks like an engineer squad may choose to go over there, although perhaps reading the intentions of the opponents, NewName does decide to send a couple of his vehicles up that way, maybe able to get that under control. This house, this Ford HQ, may be the MVP of this game. I'm sure we see a lot of veterancy units on the field, but they've been able to keep this online for the whole time, haven't been pushed off once off this southern VP, although they lost the VP itself a couple of times, but they managed to get this area. There we go, the walker still comes in, and just as I say it, what a barrage that is. The AT gun goes down, the Ford HQ goes down, all to that walking Stuka. That changes things a lot. Not going to be able to reinforce at the front so easily now. May have to get out a half track if they intend to do that, or build a second Ford HQ maybe in this building. But also they've lost that sort of nice position there with an HMG in there. They could lock down both this VP and this VP, which is a little bit of support. And that's no longer the case. Engineers did move to the north and did manage to get the cap on that VP, but now with the Tiger there, I would want to get out, and they do try and retreat, but unfortunately it looks like they're not going to get away. A bit of an awkward retreat. Did see a strafe go in there, got a couple of models, but a little bit underwhelming, I think. This is one of those issues, I think, with the strafe at this version of the game. It was so inconsistent. Now, Golradaer has decided, I mean, he doesn't have many units on the field, has very little infantry. But clearly he's prioritizing the victory points at this time. Looks like he is going to try and get down a MG emplacement. This is not uncommon even today. When you get to the late game and you realize that just keeping those victory points online is going to be the thing that can win you the game if you're not confident that you've necessarily going to be able to maintain the military lead for too much longer. Triage center. Triage center. This is the first build. Oh, look at that. Slightly bugged, like a halo over the headquarters there rather than laying on the ground as it does today. That's quite cool to see, actually. That's actually, I quite like that. That's nice. Yes, so getting the MG emplacements down, locking down VPs today, not unusual at all. A little bit unusual to see that happening when you only have 100, when your opponent still has 170 VPs in the bank. Oh, a second Tiger coming in now. That Pershing did try and push forward. I wanted to look at the size of that up gun. So this is one of the great things about the Pershing, is that it does benefit from the up gun ability that primarily affects Shermans, but the Pershing also gets it. It's going to help it out in these tank battles a lot. Having said that, it is now getting flanked around by the two Tigers. It's caught between a rock and a rock place at this point. Oh, it's going to try and get away along the road. Nice block from the Tiger there. Saw that it was likely to be that the Pershing was likely to try and be running away along that road, and suddenly is that. Now it goes down, but we now see these three Shermans are going to try and come in and take revenge on this Tiger, although we see a number of deflections. We also see the plasma shield smoke pop there, so this Sherman should be able to break it for a little bit longer, but we do see some artillery coming in. I'm not sure what, is it going to be a firestorm? Looks like a firestorm coming down. There we go. So we have it revealed that Gmerc, excuse me, has indeed got, oh, the walking Stuka has accidentally run in there, I think. A huge Calliope barrage going down on this infantry. Seeing a lot of experience points coming in there. No squad wipes, I don't think, but a lot more experience coming in. It's going to help out a lot as he tries to get towards Allied War Machine. He doesn't quite yet have it doesn't quite yet have it unlocked, but a couple more CPs and he will have it unlocked, and he's got plenty of munitions sat in the bank to use that 2 or 3 times. Another Sherman pushing in here. Several Shermans. A huge tank battle here going down. This Tiger did move in, pushed it out. Oh, you can see another Calliope barrage. Gets this Calliope up to veterans in 3. Clearly been a very successful battle there. It's nice, interesting that the Calliope doesn't benefit from the upgun ability for the Sherman. One Sherman will basically go down here. This pack has just been set off in the distance. Looks like it will snipe it over the railway track there. It does manage to take it down. That Sherman is lost. So then Golradaer now has very few units left on the field. I think he has to be careful with this Calliope. It's just such a wonderful unit. We see some grenades going in up against these repairing engineer squads, which now get taken out by the Tiger. Now I think the Allies are in a really difficult situation here. Look, Calliope using the smoke barrage ability. Now I would be very interested to check and see if you can do that in the current build of the game with the Sherman Calliope. I'll be very surprised if it's able to use the smoke. But it's choosing to move forward. I'm not exactly sure why. Moved out of its protective plasma shield and is now blocked by its own Pershing. Ooh, the tiger decides to shoot. I'm not sure what it was aiming for there, but it hit the Pershing, comes back in and takes out the Veteran C3 Calliope. Oh, after all that hard work, it really is actually kind of physically painful to see a tank like that go down. I really think that Golradaer may regret that. Pershing is going to do well. It's going to stand up decently against a tiger with a second tiger and a tiger race coming in now. I should have noticed that earlier. Actually, at least 3 tigers on the field. It must mean that the tiger race is helping out. That Pershing has now got to get out of there. It's going to try and run away, but the blitzkrieg ability has popped. What a huge bombing run! Kind of whiffs. I mean, it might have been able to take out that tiger tank, but I thought it was going to land on these secondary tigers and all of their supporting units as well, but it doesn't quite manage to do so. Although they have enough AT guns, say a couple of AT guns, popping AP rounds perhaps, are able to chase away a tiger tank, even with that formidable Veteran C3 on the line. We see now KittyMix, Golradaer is down to a single 2-man rifleman squad on the field right now. Just setting over here. Looks like he's not building anything as we speak. Perhaps just trying to save up for that next Pershing, knowing that he's going to need some heavy armor to help out with that. But that is really a sorry sight to see. A quick look at KittyMix. He's still looking great, looking hot with that, you know, decent sized army, a lot of veterancy on there, and he's really going to be important that he's going to keep those alive and keep the allies in it for the next few minutes. In the meantime, let's swing over to NewName's side. We haven't seen him for a little while. NewName has got he's got a nice army too. 4 stormtrooper squads, a tiger in the bank, lots of Panzerschrecks, and Veteran C3 on all of his units. That's a formidable sight there if you compare that with the 2 riflemen, not squads, 2 individual riflemen of Golradaer. He's in a pretty strong position. And Gmerc in the north, how's he doing? Couple of grenadiers, couple of packs, tiger race, and the half track. I mean, not a massive force, but certainly pretty well balanced. I think I'll be decently happy with that. Some Panzerschrecks on the floor though. This rifle squad is able to pick up that Panzerschreck. They'll do a huge amount more damage and will be really powerful going forward in these late engagements. Excellent news there. Particularly if that's able to get up to Veteran C3. It's going to be causing all kinds of trouble for the Axis in future engagements. As tiger races don't feel quite so ace when there's triple vet Panzerschreck riflemen running around. You do see that the stormtrooper squads here are going to be able to flank that MG nest in the south. Take that down. A little bit of a waste of conditions there. Oh, but a huge grenade there. Looked like he did try and use the assault grenade ability. But a grenade fired off in turn by this rifleman did kill them. Oh, now that. Please don't die. I wonder if they dropped that Panzerschreck or whether they took it away with them. Hope they didn't drop it. Oh, Sherman coming over trying to respond to these stormtrooper squads. The upgun in these early builds of the game was still pretty strong against infantry. It didn't lose quite as much anti-infantry punch as we see today. But still not sure it's going to be quite enough to take out this. I think it's in a really awkward position. He needs to get out of there. Oh, a very near miss there for the Allies. Sherman looks like they will be able to just get out of there. Grenade comes down from the rifleman. Is enough to chase away these stormtroopers completely and get them off the map. Tigers sitting in the middle here, guarding this VP, but aren't really helping out too much. Or just to say that, looks like the half track will come over and try and help in this engagement. The Tigers are going to stay around the middle for now, at least. Oh, I'm not sure I like this. Grenade goes down. He's going to have to retreat that. He's going to lose a lot of health. Ow, the pin right before it happens. Suppression ability really coming in handy there. Coming in clutch. Tiger now moving. One tiger is now moving to the south. Trying to keep this off. Well, the tiger ace. I really wish I could tell better just from the skin alone what the difference is between the tiger and the tiger ace. It looks like. Is it these little funnels on the side here? Oh, see a flanking Sherman coming in here now. I mean, it's brave of a Sherman. As strong as they are, brave of it to come in on its own and try and take out this tiger ace. Though with a tiger, especially when there's another tiger just around the corner. It looks like that the generic tiger as well does still have those little funnels on the side, so that's not the distinction. Maybe it's slightly different. I can kind of vaguely tell the difference, but not I can't pinpoint what it is exactly. It's a huge shot there from these Blitz Tigers on the Rifleman squad. They are trying to retreat. Another shot goes down, but he's able to get out of there. Okay. Playing with fire, aren't they? Absolutely playing with fire up against these triple veterancy Tigers. I think effectively, the triple veterancy Tiger is equivalent to a Tiger Ace in its ability and its effectiveness against both infantry and tanks. I think they're essentially the same stats. So we essentially have 3 Tiger Aces on the field now in a 2v2. Absolutely imber. Needs to be patched immediately. And indeed it was. Very shortly after this, we won't be seeing 2 Tigers on the field at the same time, which is a real shame. It's quite a beautiful thing to see two Tigers helping each other out, and hopefully later in this game we may be able to see a couple of double Tiger against double pushing engagements, which really are a classic as far as I'm concerned. Now, Stormtroopers pushing down here. Sneaky. Looks like they might be trying to get off a bundle grenade. If they could take out a couple of models here. Although there's this clutch 2-man Rifleman squad may be able to uncloak them. No, not quite. They're just passing. And straight by. Get themselves into some nice bit of yellow cover, so they'll be happy with that. But now the bundle grenade goes down. Takes out a couple of models. Actually, not as devastating as I thought it could have been at that moment, but certainly they got in the push. Oh, but a couple of Rifleman squads there. They might want to get out of there, to be honest. In the meantime, he's using a lot of his units to just cap in the middle, although this AT gun is shooting the Tiger from distance. Looks like a forced retreat was used there. I really hope he isn't sleeping on this Tiger NewName. I'm going to have to watch. He's got 3 Pioneer squads just sitting just there. Should be able to help out. They do now come in and he moves it away. That could have been a real huge oversight. Sometimes you don't see, if it's been attacked like little by little over a decent period of time. You don't notice that the attack is continuing, and you can easily overlook the engagements like that. Another sneaky ninja Stormtrooper squad pushing in here, desperate to take out the these must be the officers of the allied army here. 2 guys just sat off at the back of the battle, haven't really done anything for best part of an hour. Oh, do you get decloaked here? A couple of shots going down from the riflemen. Not sure they're going to be able to take it out, but they are keen. Look at this. They do decide to retreat. Get out of there. When they realise exactly what they've got themselves into, thinking where one Stormtrooper comes, there's normally more not far away. They decide to just get out of there and run away. These 2 AT guns now pushing the middle VP. A couple of AT guns, it only takes 2 or 3 AT guns. However strong the Axis tanks are, a couple of AT guns are really so powerful. A couple of Shermans now deciding to push in. Ooh, Golradaer, I don't like this. Allied War Machine, though, goes down. I did not like that engagement at first. Thinking they were going to get themselves in a lot of trouble, and we're almost certain to get down with the just amount and quality of Axis. Look at that Sherman train! We now see 5 Shermans rushing down the middle of the map. Allied War Machine popped. Goes down for a decent amount of time. How many of the tanks will go down? 1 goes down. That's going to be reinforced. Another shot goes down. Tiger, the half track goes down too. Another Sherman. 2 Shermans on extremely low health. Will they go down, or will they be reinforced? Or will they be able to go out of there and reinforce? They're desperately trying to rush in and take out this Tiger Ace, excuse me. Are they able to do so? I can't believe the War Machine is still in use. There it goes. Can't believe things going down. There we go. That was the exact sort of engagement they needed there. Pushing forward. AT guns also pushing up nicely behind. Rifleman squad, triple veterancy is now going to have to get out there, I would think. Recallers Rifles doing a good job chasing away this Tiger in the north. Allied War Machine, is it really still going? Or is that a second use of the Allied War Machine? I would assume it's a second use and they're just going to go in there and try and use it to make most of this veterancy, get some extra damage up on this Tiger here in the north. Here comes one Allied Tiger. Oh, Sherman just looking a little bit sheepish. Well, you'll get taken out and be reinforced as well. They've got to be really careful, the Axis, that they don't keep reinforcing. Does run away and tells it not to shoot, although will it shoot? Ow! It does shoot, and for once, the miss of the Tiger is actually something that works to the favor of the Axis, although it's still shooting. He needs to retarget that. Golradaer desperately showing its rear armor, and it does get out of control. Will it die before the Allied War Machine? No! I need to switch to Golradaer there very quickly and see if that actually did get reinforced. That last one looks like the last one did not come back onto the field from this point, so the out of control was just long enough there to save the Axis the trouble We're dealing with yet another allied tank on the field. Allied War Machine is back. It's available once again. Looks like it's another one of those abilities. Its cooldown is about the same length as its actual ability itself. And so many misses on the Sherman. Is this Sherman bugged? I just saw like 4 or 5 misses in a row. That's absolutely crazy. It does go down this time though. The damage not before damaged engine on this Tiger. Another Sherman pushing in. Could use Allied War Machine again. He chose not to. 2 Shermans went down there. Or maybe he's saving it for his Pershing. Thinking he can get a little bit more value for money if the Pershing is involved as well. If you could pop it now. The Sherman. Yes, there we go. Beautiful pop timing on that. Sherman goes down. That'll be instantly reinforced on the field. Should come back here. Yep, it's down there. Back at the off-map calling point. Pershing and Sherman now pushing in. Pershing looks like it wants to get really racy and try and take out this Tiger. Surely you've got to be focus firing the low health Tiger, surely. There he goes, does change the focus firing on it. That Pershing will be reinforced. It's coming in here off map again. It's just such a powerful ability. Extra Sherman will go down as well. No attempt whatsoever from the Axis to stop taking out these tanks while Allied War Machine is active. So yeah, that's a huge amount being reinforced constantly, and I can't even imagine how much reinforced. I can't even begin to count the resources that the Allies have had reinforced from Allied War Machine in the last 5 minutes of this game. 3 minutes of this game. KittyMix coming in again, absolutely fantastic unit preservation from KittyMix. He still has a huge number, even with all the firepower on the field and how many units there are out there that could easily squad wipe him at a moment's notice. He's managed to keep the majority of his units alive. Let's switch over to him very quickly. Oh, another big fight coming in over here. They've got to keep an eye on this very quickly. Yeah, look at KittyMix. He's kept 4 of his veterancy infantry squads alive, which is pretty good. He's only lost 1 rifleman in this game, I think. Doing a great job there. Now a third huge push in here from Golradaer. His Blitzkrieg has popped on these Tiger tanks, so they're going to do a little bit more damage, a little bit more speed. I think maybe it's actually the rate of fire which is higher. Trying to take out this one pushing here first by the looks of things. One Sherman is taking out the Pioneer squad's great bit of focus fire there. Destroyed engine on this Tiger. Looks like it, I would hope it goes down pretty shortly. A few more deflections, no main gun on it though, so these Tigers can stick around. They do take it out, and now they're going to try and force to move in behind there. Meanwhile, the infantry are mopping up behind, getting these 2 VPs back online. This has been such wonderful play. I've absolutely loved these last few minutes. Huge tank battles pushing off the Axis, so I thought were clear favourites. Oh, but having said that, much as they were clear favourites, we now see another Tiger on the field, full HP, triple veterancy. He's going to be able to help that. I'm not sure however good the smoke is. I'm not sure it's good enough to stand up to two triple vet Tigers. We'll have to see. Oh, and now with the support of the Stormtroopers too, it's going to be very tricky indeed. I may have to pop another smoke. He does pop another smoke, but you can see units can hit. You can be hit by things in the smoke. Looked like a strafing run came up there. Did a decent job, couple models of each of these tanks, but isn't it to kill them? Actually, we are seeing now that these Shermans are getting a far more shots than they would have otherwise. Alright, but it's enough to take out that one Tiger there. Does that look like a bundle grenade as an attempt to try and take out this tank? Fortunately, that too misses. Plasma shield now is over again. I wonder if he's got enough munitions to pop another one. Either he didn't have the munitions or chose not to pop that. Just great. This battle has been going on for a good 3 minutes on its own, just in this little lump of land here. This Sherman now, for the first time in a long time, we see a tank attempting to actually escape the battle and get out alive. Not able to do so. Goes down, triple veterancy lost along with it. Now Pershing against Tiger tank on its own. Triple vet Tiger, excuse me. I'm not sure it's going to be able to win that, although the support of these Recallers rifles will make all the difference. Rifleman squad comes in here. It has to pop off there. Just get the cap off, or maintain the cap on the central VP, although the Tiger is just going to be able to chase that away. Nothing in the vicinity I can see is going to be able to chase off this Pioneer and prevent the cap on the victory point. This Pershing is getting really aggressive. He's desperately wants to take out the Tiger. Reports rifle decides to run for the victory point by the looks of things. Leaves his Pershing undefended. Pershing now has no choice but to try and retreat. Pushing back to its victory point and trying to get some support. Trying to use its frontal armor to kind of win the engagement, although it gets a little bit of awkward terrain here. Tank trap, its own tank trap is there, prevents the retreat. And that is enough to ensure that it goes down. Real shame there, this airborne squad though. A couple of recordless rifles. I'm not sure they'll be able to get the kill off on that Tiger, but certainly they can push it away. Triple vet rifle squad now comes in. It's going to come back to this VP. Got a Panzer Strike as well. This is the Panzer Strike squad. Oh no, please don't go down. Oh, they do go down. I think a combination of the strength of that walking stucco, that I wonder if it's got some veterancy on it as well. I'll check that in a moment. But the negative cover that is around here. Oh, that's an absolute tragedy to see that go down. Now I think what we may be seeing is that the Allies have kind of run out of momentum. They had all that munitions in the bank that helped them to... Strafe comes in here, whiffs completely. Again, this is something we'll look at in a Blitz episode at some point. I think I'll do that shortly before I move on to patch 1.5. It was very difficult to aim strafes, to reliably aim strafes and bombing runs to make sure they hit where you wanted them to. They would often hit outside of the sort of cone of fire of where you wanted them to, where you kind of would place down. It was like a circle and a little set of lines. I'll show it. It's probably easier to show than it is to tell about. But yeah, and even then, when you saw the smoke on the field, the warning flares, the actual bombing runs would often land outside of that area anyway. So it was really quite disappointing. But yeah, as it is, I think the munitions that were saved up from the Allies that were so fundamental in the couple of those engagements, when that ran dry, you can see that they kind of run out of steam. And now this another veteran see-through rifle squad looks like it will go down. I hope it gets away. It'd be a real shame to see that die. Just get out of there. One of my favourite things to see a triple veteran C rifleman squad with the Panzer Strike. It really is one of the strongest units in the entire game. Sounds like another walking Stuka was going off there. Here it is up here. No veterancy on it, but it hasn't prevented it from being really quite effective. Not usually the squad wiper that we see it as today, but it's still pretty good. This Tigress now is feeling really confident. I think the Axis know now that they just have to keep track of these VPs and they'll be absolutely fine. You see, much as the Allies were doing earlier, they just placed an MG bunker right next to this VP. That's going to be very difficult to root out without the use of a lot of armor. And we do see the GG from the Allied team. They've realized they're not going to be able to get this online. Tiger's guarding the VPs and they're ticking down fast, down to below 30. And they just don't have the firepower to force those away and get the cap within time. I think despite, the GG coming on, it's this match coming to an end. I hope you'll agree that this was a very, very exciting replay. I'm really glad I had the opportunity to watch this again. This is one of those few replays that I remember watching back in 2006. This was right at the end of 2006, I believe, just before the new year. I vaguely remember. Oh, V1 going down somewhere. Where could it be? Is it here? I don't think he had. Did he have? I'm not sure he had. Oh! So the V1. I think he was trying to do it on these Shermans before they pushed away, but a little bit of miscommunication there, I think. And this Tiger, I think, was it in the middle of this fireball? It's pretty hard to tell at this point. Did get caught and unfortunately didn't live to see the victory of his people. I think that was a very exciting game. I really enjoyed watching it again. I hope you've enjoyed it too. Join in again for patch 1.5 as we move forward. There's going to be a lot of really great games in 1.5. It was around a bit longer. It was liked a lot more than the patch kind of 1.3, 1.4 era. Has a few bugs of its own, but a lot of good players. And we'll be able to see Golradaer sort of come into his own, not as a 2v2 player as we've seen today, but as a 1 versus 1 player. We see the emergence of the clan Warchild and the Warchild versus MSY, or Micro Society, I think it was called, Clan Wars. And I think there's going to be some really exciting stuff to watch, so I hope you'll join in for that, and thank you for watching.